It's me, and with a new series of videos this time around. At least I hope so. It's actually a really simple concept and one I cannot believe I hadn't thought of sooner, but hey, it's here now, maybe even to stay. Basically what this is going to be is me listing off some weird and or humorous and or interesting things or perceived inconsistencies and other shenanigans, both good, bad and neutral, mostly regarding world building, but I may very well put in a few narrative or plot related ones here and there for good measure, followed by an elaboration on my reasoning and what implications it may hold for that specific setting or story. Today, we'll be tackling the new hotness on the anime block that is Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's begin. Number 1. Curse classification. Am I the only one who thinks that the curse classification in Jujutsu Kaisen is a bit, steep? At one point in the anime, there is an illustration of how powerful the 5 grades of curses would be if they could be damaged by conventional weaponry. And it goes like this. Grade 4. You'd need a wooden bat. Alright, pretty simple. Weaker or at about regular human level. Grade 3. A handgun. Alright, so like enough curse energy to take down a wolf or something. Grade 2. You'd need at least a shotgun equivalent. So like enough curse energy to take down a brown bear or something. Makes sense? Makes sense. Grade 1. Even a goddamn tank may not be enough. That's a plunge and a half. We went from this, to at least this, to maybe this. But wait, there's more! We also have curses that are special grade, in cases of which you may be able to take them on if you carpet bomb the living hell out of them. Now there's nothing in essence wrong with this, it's just that the way in which it was set up and the way it was illustrated made me do a when I first saw it due to the unexpected degree of escalation. Number 2. Are curses wreaking absolute havoc in other parts of the world outside of Japan? From everything we've been told so far in the anime and from what I could see on the wiki, though I didn't look too hard cause I didn't want to get spoiled, there are only 2 academies in Japan, one in Tokyo and one in Kyoto, that teach about Jujutsu, curses, curse energy and all that, and are therefore the only ones that can handle them in any real capacity. However, from what I understand, curses are rather ubiquitous, in that they are born from the negative emotions of humans in general, and aren't in any way confined to the political, cultural, or geographic entity that is Japan. Does this mean that curses are having an absolute field day in places that, on a global scale, aren't in the immediate vicinity of Tokyo or Kyoto? It's been established that curses are most prevalent in highly populated urban areas, and while Tokyo might be the most populated city in the world, it is not even in the top 60 when it comes to population density, which I believe would absolutely play a factor. Among many others, to be frank, but I really don't want to talk about suicide rates and what that might entail for a world where curses exist, so I'll leave it as a quick mention and a soft implication. Number 3. So, we learned from Mahito that a shared image of fear makes it easy for powerful, potentially special grade curses to manifest, like the QB or a toilet-bound Hanako-san. Now, if the point I previously mentioned holds, that would mean that the same is true for all other famous spirits, urban legends, cryptids, and so on. Basically, this would mean that Slenderman, Bloody Mary, Nessie are all potential special grade curses that have manifested in the past, or potentially could manifest in the future. First of all, the problem of them getting exercise stands, as mentioned previously. I believe Gojo did mention taking an overseas trip at least once, though that may have been a joke or a lie. However, as I haven't read the manga, I'm not acquainted with the full potential of his teleportation abilities. He could very well haul ass to Transylvania in the morning, kick Dracula's ass, look at those highlights, fabulous, and be back in time for dinner or lunch, or maybe even breakfast, I don't know. Maybe an upper limit was set in the manga, feel free to comment if it was, but be vague about it, so as to not spoil stuff for anyone, primarily me. Back to the main point, apologies for the digression. What I was trying to get at is the following. A. If curses are indeed born through the negative emotions of people and feed off them, they are inherently evil, in that they wish to manifest those emotions in humans as much as possible, or simply destroy them. B. Curses are ubiquitous and can manifest in all parts of the world where humans reside. C. A shared image of fear makes it easy for powerful, potentially special-grade curses to manifest. And D. Those manifestations will adopt the properties, powers, and inclinations of those shared images upon manifestation. For example, a manifestation of a QB curse would have the abilities generally possessed by such a spirit. Sorry if that got too wordy, but what I'm trying to say is this. If everything I've stated so far holds, in that the manga doesn't contradict these points, in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, humanity should have been obliterated a long time ago. Think about it. This would mean that widely feared curses like Satan himself could manifest at any time and wreak absolute havoc, thereby causing even more negative emotions to manifest in the people being terrorized, which would then in turn create even more curses, and so on and so on. Things could get out of hand really quickly, especially since Jujutsu is supposedly solely restricted to Japan, and considering the sorcerers number in the dozens, and considering the lack of long-distance communication throughout most of human history, I can't see how they could possibly handle such a situation. Even with Mr. OP Isekai protagonist himself, the man probably got so powerful so as to make sure Truck-kun never has the chance to come close enough to isekai him again. He's got a pretty sweet gig right now, being the millennial version of Kakashi. If Kakashi had both Sharingans, 4th Great Ninja War amounts of chakra, and scarfed down on Hashirama's cells while watching Might Guy workout DVDs on the regular. He's really OP is what I'm trying to say. Number 4. Now, I'm only superficially acquainted with moral philosophy and all that jazz, so I definitely like to hear your feedback on this one. So, from Mahito we learned that in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, the shape of one's body mirrors the shape of one's soul, not the other way around.
Souls have hands?
Apparently!
Yeah, this is the second video I'm using this clip in, but I just couldn't resist. He also stated at one point that all living organisms also possess souls. Now, if it is indeed just living and not sentient beings that possess souls, this then implies that both plants and animals have souls as well. This would then necessarily render all arguments for the inherent supremacy of human moral worth in opposition to all other creatures null and void, with the only line of argumentation being either range of experience or sentience. But since sentience is a very clunky and ill-defined parameter, the experience of pleasure, and in this case pain, would give the argument for the moral worth of animals more credence. Or it would at least shut down many current avenues of argumentation. Basically, vegans would become a special grade threat for all us meat-eaters. The sorcerers, too. I'm half joking, I know the topic itself is much more nuanced, I just found it fun to think about. Last and definitely least, number 5. Did you know that Jujutsu is recognized as a word by a word, as it is a variant spelling of Jujutsu? Yup. This, ladies and gentlemen, is only a taste of the hard-hitting facts you can expect here on The Overthinker. And that's another one done, folks. Actually, this video should have been out a week ago, but my editing software decided to completely scrap the initial version of this video when it was a day or two from being finished. So that was fun. My whining aside, I genuinely do hope you enjoyed the video. I think I finally arrived at a format that both suits me and will allow me to make videos much more frequently. By that I mean like bi-weekly at the most. Hopefully. As always, feedback would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I promise not to flood your sub feed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.